A lot has happened this week in League. We've got the LEC's name being changed from the League of Legends European Championship to the League of Empty Chairs after this weekend's empty stadiums for the finals. And it was the final of the LEC, which is like now the finals final of Split 3 of Split 2's final, losers bracket winners final for World's Disqualifications play-ins, Money in the Bank final, Hell in a Cell regular season game final. I'm out of breath. What's bad about that exaggerated description is it's actually not far off how many finals it feels like LEC has at the minute. We've also got the domino effect of a small penis emote being banned. I can't do it. We've also got the domino effect of a small penis emote being banned before an emote literally telling you to you-know-what yourself being banned before what can only be described as a George Floyd emote being in the game still. Genuinely, a black man quoted saying, "Let me breathe," making it to live servers is actually my favourite topic of the year. And finally, we're ending on some glorious Phreak redemption. We'll start with what you're all here for, the exclusive George Floyd emote that's now in League of Legends. I mean, holy moly. How did Riot Games, a company that if they had their way would gag every player from ever typing a negative word in the game, or have you writing apology lines like Bart Simpson for calling a teammate bad, like letting these emotes get to live servers is hilarious. So the first two have been covered, so I won't dwell on them, but too long didn't read if you're out of the loop. All the esports teams now have like their own official emote, which they're going to get some of the money off their sales. I can't believe I'm reading this next sentence out. The 100 Thieves of Kali small PP emote is offensive in Korea. What's gone wrong with my life that I'm reading this out? And I'm like, okay, I can see how Riot HQ might not know that it's like mega offensive in Korea. That happens, right? It's meant to be offensive, okay? Like, I think the emote was fine. The emote's been changed, so no one's going to buy it, so it's useless, right? So that happens. Then, a few days later, not straight away, by the way, they for some reason didn't double check all these emotes. BDS's emote is changed, and this emote was actually goated. It was an emote with the bait ping that every single League player who's ever played the game when this was in the game knows. It does not mean bait your enemies to make a play. It means hang yourself IRL. So that emote got changed, and now it's got like a fish on or something. I can't remember. So that's not going to make any sales, right? So those two have been changed straight away, okay? And might I add, they've been like the artwork's been updated, not the text line. A text line would be 10 times easier to change than updating the art. Okay, which brings us to the worst one, which is still in the game, and it's the only one that I personally would have changed, because I feel like small PP, bait ping is like Gamer Flame. This is a little bit different from Gamer Flame. The Cassante emote. It is a black man wearing an oxygen mask, and what did they call it? Holy Copium? Copium Sante? Hopium? Nope. Let me breathe. I can't. Are we actually in a simulation? The Korean culture reference being missed, I can get, right? This, however, I am from the UK, and even I instantly, like 0.2 seconds in, was like, holy fuck, they've put a George Floyd emote in League. There is no way, no one at Riot HQ in America, the place this happened, the place this was headlines news for probably months, didn't pick this up. And let me breathe. That is not even a thing any League player would say. It might be used 1 in 1,000 games if you've got like 4 ganks in your lane. You're like, give me some place to breathe. But it is not a League saying. And that emote, it's literally depicting someone on copium or hopium. A meme overused to the fucking ground at Worlds by the analyst desk anytime a Western team plays an Eastern team. It's not even funny how much it's used now. But let me breathe. What does that mean in a League context? Could it be a reference to choking? Even then, that's got implications outside the game as well. Like, genuinely, it is having in stitches. It's hilarious this made it. And the character they chose, this is the best bit. Let me breathe. Does that reference Cassante in any way? Any of his lore? No. There's 2 black males, forgive me if I'm wrong, in League. It's Lucian and Cassante. And out of 168 characters to choose from, they chose one of the 2 black men a choice with the odds of 2 in 168 and called it Let Me Breathe. This is legit trolling on a biblical scale. Trolling the likes we haven't seen, I think, ever in the League of Legends ecosystem. Vikings Esports did this right under Riot's nose. Like, they're actually goated. The balls to do this for money is crazy. Even before the name was announced, Cassante mains who saw the email were like, holy crap, good emote, that's Copium Cassante. So it's Copium with a K and then the apostrophe, not a C. That makes so much sense. That's a really cool way to name it. Everyone thought it was Copium. It makes so much sense. But Vikings just hit us with the Let Me Breathe. Like, god damn, Vikings Gaming, I apologise. I was not familiar with your game. So yeah, that's the fiasco over. I believe the name will get changed eventually, but the troll emotes were obviously going to sell the most, right? The teams get a revenue share, so they wanted to sell as many emotes as possible, so they were incentivized to push the boundary as far as possible as to what Riot would allow, and Vikings Esport certainly did that. Hundreds of people we sat there like, I just made a small joke, penis joke, and we got George Floyd emote game that's allowed, like, incredible. Right, the LEC, League of Empty Chairs. Shock. G2 versus Fnatic final, as is always written in the script. Actually a great competitive series. It was close but not close at the same time. G2 won. The big story here though is the arena was emptier than Cloud9's world schedule. Just like an actual cringe level of empty. It felt awkward. It gives off the vibe that no one cares about Pro League. I kind of felt a little bit awkward watching it. I was like, why am I watching this when nobody else watches it? I feel like a loser. I play League, I probably am. And it just made it feel like that when that's not actually the case. Like, viewership is good, people would have gone, but we'll get on to reasons why they didn't. But it's so important that they sell out the crowd because it's putting arena events in jeopardy. There's certain moments in League that go from cool to iconic due to a sold-out crowd cheering. Like, I think of DRX, was it World Semis or Quarters, where they had an inhibitor respawn, one tick from ending the game, and hearing the crowd roar in the background, first for the back door, and then the realisation the inhibitors respawn, just literal goosebumps. And that's what I haven't watched the LEC all year, but I tuned in for the arena finals, because the arena is what brings the hype. Anyway, what caused this? This isn't like all on Riot. I thought the casting was great. I thought Medic carried the final. The production value was good. The arena was good. It felt like it could be the right size. The desk was the desk is like 8 out of 10. Like, I think the desk is fine. They do a good job, but compared to the glory days of the Fischio, Quickshot, Yamato, Cadril at times, I feel like the desk just doesn't have as compelling personalities on anymore, or polarizing. Anyway, overall point is the finals were great. They kind of did everything right. And if the stadium sold out, we'd be saying, wow, League in Europe is alive. But it didn't. A lot of people are blaming bots, and I think this is largely the case. But after seeing how empty G2 versus Mad Game was the day before, I looked for tickets to go to the final, and they were still on sale for £65. And I believe Riot told Dubai it was sold out, but it's sold out to robots who can't physically attend. And I don't think they would have sold the arena out anyway, because the World's Finals tickets, I know World's Finals is bigger, those tickets are selling on Viagogo for like 300 to 600 plus pounds, right? And there's 1,000 tickets sold of that price, plus they instantly sold out in 30 seconds. These scalp tickets were really not that high for the finals, so I don't think you can tell me an event that empty would have sold out if the tickets were at face value, whereas if they were like £100, they wouldn't sell out. Like, don't think that works. This isn't on Riot. It happens with Taylor Swift, happens with Oasis, happens with the UFC, happens with pretty much every event that goes on sale now. Worlds recently sold out in 30 seconds at a bigger venue, so I'm hoping that's not a repeat. But like I said, the tickets for that are actually selling for silly prices. But I do think in this scenario, Riot need to go above and beyond to ensure tickets go to fans. This is the one event for LEC for the year. This is your like beacon of like, League is alive, it's great, get invested in pro play for the big moments, this is for the fans, blah blah blah. I think it actively damaged the league. It gives off the thing of like, no one cares enough to spend any money on this. They just watch it in the background. We've got phone verification in the client for Clash. We've also got like, you can link your account to Prime in League. So it's like, can that be used to maybe help ensure tickets go to fans? But again, this isn't just a Riot problem. Happens with fucking everyone who's doing an event. So yeah, it just feels bad. The event was good. Games were hype. casting was good, and I just feel bad for the players, the broadcast talent, and most importantly the fans for not getting to experience a sold-out arena atmosphere they spent all year looking forward to. Like, I went to one of the earlier MSIs in France, and it was incredible. It was incredible. And finally, Phreak appeared on not a podcast, but also not an interview. It plays out like a podcast, so we'll just go with that. But it was with LS and Froxon. And this is more me funneling you to go and watch it after this video, as it's really good. The fact this wasn't pre-recorded, it was on stream, answering tough questions. And LS was genuinely, in my opinion, at his personal best. When he's not focused on winning an argument or a point, he's just showing genuine curiosity and giving the Balance team like a good platform to connect with the players and asking the right questions to draw the right answers out of them. Like, Phreak pretty candidly was like, yeah, we threw buffs at Moonstone Senna, got the numbers completely wrong. And in a vacuum, I could clip that up, or you could see it on Reddit and be like, Phreak, you fucking idiot, what are you doing? Or even if you didn't hear that podcast and you just checked Senna's win rate or played against Senna recently pre-nerf, you'd be like, what the fuck is the Balance team doing? But in this format, you get to hear Phreak say why Senna was changed, the thought process, the quick nerfs, and it all made so much more sense. Like, was Senna overbuffed? Yes. Was the logic there? Was the thought process there? Was the desired goal all really good in the right direction? 100%. I did see a couple of comments saying, like, yeah, I get all that, but where's the testing? Like, I do get that. It gives off the impression they're a little bit short on time and things are kind of shipped a little too early or not with as much time as they'd like to properly play test. But in this scenario, it was fine. Senna was fucking disgustingly broken. Got nerfed straight away. It's the scenarios with the... I'm looking at you, Maokai, or Brand, where they are just month. That's where it's really bad. But it was just a really good format. I know Phreak has his patch rundown notes, which also achieves this very similar thing. But sometimes I feel like unintentionally, and it must be said not often nowadays, he communicates his point poorly. Not in a malicious way, or like... It just doesn't come across great at times, right? Purely by accident. And I'm just chatting shit here, but a contributing reason for that could be... when he's reading the patch notes to the player base, he's reading the patch notes to the player base who endlessly flame him and just be like, everything that's wrong with the game is Phreak, right? I'm guilty of that. Versus explaining patches and thought processes to LS is like talking to a friend versus someone who like actively hates you. And also like talking to LS, he can ask the right questions to be like, what do you mean by that? Blah, blah, blah. So it was really good. Like I said, fantastic listen. Thanks to all three of them for making it happen. They're under no obligation to do it. I think it would be really, really good as like maybe a monthly video, because the Balance team literally only came out looking better. I know like some comments on Reddit were like, they only said stuff we already know, but yes and no. I enjoyed it personally, but they could, if they didn't do it every month, they could do it. What would be really good is if at the end of each split, they did it and they're like, this is where we came from. This is what we learned during the split, and this is where we're heading in the future for the players. Like, that would be great. There we go then. As always, if you made it to the end, go comment, subscribe, join the Discord, all that good stuff if you want to come and have a chat in there. And go and watch that LS video, and it's good. I'll link it in the description. Bye-bye.